It's nice to share something about our dear Mother Teresa. Very often people think that it was that we encountered her or that we made it a point to go and meet her or that we worked with her. In my case, it was just that things just happened. You call it providential or you call it the way things were. It began, I still remember the first time we encountered was when I was about 6 years old. Our parents were not frequenting church. I was staying in Howrah on GT Road. Uh, just opposite that is called Pilkhana, a very famous place where Father Laborde also started his work. And so our parents were not frequenting church and we also were not going to church. The first time I remember mother coming with, I think, another sister, um, I don't remember her name, and she just told my parents, she never asked my parents why you are not going to church. She said, if you can keep these children's clothes at the left side of the bed, we will come and dress them and we'll take them to church. We were wondering, we never knew her as Mother Teresa, we never knew her. We wondered who's this nun who's so interested and wanting to take us to church. Anyway, my mummy, since my mummy was working in the military, and my father, of course, was not bothered about the church. So, mummy, she began keeping our clothes at the right side of the bed. Mother would come once a month. She would come once a month to meet Father Venexum, and so they would sisters would come, dress us, and take us to church. Now, in my family, we were 7 children. The neighboring family was 4 children, and the other side was 2 children. So she had about 15 of us walking behind her, going to church. That was from GT Road in Pilkhana to Our Lady of Happy Voice Church in Howrah. Of course, boys as we were very mischievous, and we gave a lot of trouble. And at that time, there was Sister Agnes, one of the first who joined Mother. And but we played the fool a lot with her. And Mother, she told us, I'll be bringing one sister who is more strict to take care of you all. And so we got Sister Gertrude. Gertrude was very severe and strict. So that was just the first encounter that I remember. Not that we planned it, not that we went, it just happened. Then, of course, after that, we were taken from school. The Don Bosco fathers were insisting that we see the work of the Missionaries of Charity. And so when we were taken to Kali Ghat, it so happened mother was there. My first experience in Kali Ghat, again, that might have been when I was in class, might be a class 8. And I still remember my first experience. I entered that Kali Ghat, home for the dying destitute, and I walked out. I couldn't bear the sight and everything. And mother was there, but she didn't say anything. She just came out and told me, "You're feeling all right? You're feeling sick? Shall I get you some water?" Those kind of things she asked me. And then, of course, after that, every month when I was going, rather when we were going with Father Crowley to Kalighat, then of course we began entering over there. Then mother said we could make medicine packets from our used exercise books so that she could give out medicines to the people who came. And so that became a kind of a regular encounter where we were making medicine packets for Mother Teresa's work. We were going once a month with all big packets of or these medicine packets and handing them over in Kalighat. Slowly, of course, we moved on to and we entered college and we were still going and seeing the work that we were just seeing the work of mother till finally I was put in Boys Town in Gangarampur, and we were taking care of those boys over there. Not an easy work, but mother never ever demanded that we must make it good or make it nice. She said, yes, boys are like that, don't get worried, don't get discouraged. And we found this rather unusual because in school we were told you have to be firm and you have to be severe and you have to be thing. But yes, she was, yes, they are boys, they have their problems, so don't get worried. And we were happy with what we were doing. We were not achieving anything in our eyes, but in hers, of course, she might have seen what we're achieving. And she said, you don't get worried. It's all right what you are doing. We kept on in that way. And mother also joked a lot. I still remember when I was in Boys Town, and we wanted her to arrange for jobs for the boys. And so I went with Father Richard Saldana, he's now dead, and we asked if she can go with us to arrange for jobs for the boys. She took us to New Kenilworth Hotel, and they were very good to her. They said, "Yes, mother, you can come, and we'll arrange." And so they took in some boys into the hotel. Then we went to Barter Shoe Company on SN Banerjee Road, was the regional office. And I still remember when we went over there, she said they will all be waiting on the first floor with garlands and bouquets. We'll go on the third floor and come down by the steps. And I said, but mother, it looks so bad. I said, don't get worried. She said, I'm used to it. And so we went by the lift to the third floor, and we came down by the steps behind everyone, and they all were surprised. So she had her own way of joking and of making things seem light and looking at them on the lighter side. So then, of course, we began meeting her regularly because she was supporting us with some help for Boys Town, then also for Kolasarak. I was asked to remove the machines from there. And so, again, there she was also assisting us. And everyone noticed, of course, even I noticed myself, whenever I went to her for anything regarding all these works, I tried to be in the background. I didn't want to go because so many people were going to see her. But whenever she saw me, her eyes lit up, and she would call me in front. You come over here in front. And so naturally, I knew that she was recognizing me, and she knew me by sight at least. And so naturally, I would get more attracted. When I went to Rome, or rather, when I was going to be ordained, I went to give her my ordination invitation card, since she taught me catechism, Sunday school. We had also our first communion preparation was done by her sisters, and I said I should give her an invitation card because she influenced very much for me to join the priesthood. I always thought I'll become a priest, and I want to work for the destitute, but I will try and uplift young boys, especially young boys, young girls, so that they also can come up, because I always believe that the poor in Calcutta, like we also were from the poorer side, we were ashamed to say we were poor. We dressed up nicely, we wore the latest, whatever we got, and no one could think that we also were having our own financial problems and things. And so we would call them the bashful poor. They were shy to say they were poor. And so we were going. When I was going to be ordained, I said before my ordination in my last year, I thought I will leave because I said, "Is this life good for me? I am from Calcutta. I am used to a different way of uh, lifestyle, and will I be able to carry on?" Then I saw my other friends; they were good in Bengali, good in Hindi. I was only good in English, and I knew a little bit of Bengali. And I went one day to mother house, and I was sitting on that bench over there in the chapel, and I was praying. Not exactly praying, I was just sitting. I said, let me make my final decision over here. One nun might have gone and told mother that Orsan is in the chapel, and she came in, and she said, what's the matter? So I said, no, nothing. I said, if I tell her now, she'll tell me, let's pray and let's sing. So she caught my hand and took me out, and she said, you're coming from Barrackpore. She gave me some snacks and all. And then I told her, I said, I am wondering, am I making my correct decision? Because I was teaching for 6 years. I was thinking I could still go back to teaching. I was teaching in St. Paul's, Kidapur. And the mother caught my hand, said, let's go and see what Jesus says. I said, oh my goodness me, now she's going to say. Anyway, that was mother's way of saying it. Let's see what Jesus says. She took me back to the chapel. I sat on the bench, and then she knelt down, and I tried to kneel. She said, no, you sit. So I sat down, and she was praying. Then after some time, she sat next to me. And she said, you know any of the priests who are very successful? I said, yeah, I know some of them. They're very good in games. They're very good in music. And then they had no trouble. I said, yeah, one of them was hammered and one of them was abused by the people. She said, then what kind of priest you want to be? The successful priest who will be hammered or the successful priest who will be abused? So you be a priest. You be a priest to help those in need. Don't look that you're a priest. You say, I came to India not knowing the language. I came to Calcutta not knowing Bengali. But once you go to a place and you like the place, that's the best language. Once you like the place, you will like the people. That's the best language you understand. I was not so very convinced when she told me that. But I said, okay, she said, you go back and think. And after you have thought, then you decide to leave and you come and tell me. When I went back, I said that was true. Because in Boys Town, where many people left and came away, I went and stayed on because I liked the place. I liked the boys, we were fooling around, doing work, all kinds of things we were there. And I said, and everyone said, oh, how you're managing. And I said, what she's saying is true. Once you go to a place, you have to like the place. And then once you like the place, you begin liking the people. Once the people see, you don't have to tell the people, I love you. No. Once they see that you love them, that's the best language. They begin giving back that love. And so I decided to go on. And when I printed my ordination card, I said, let me go and give her a card because she not only taught me catechism and prepared for First Holy Communion, but she also, for my ordination, she played a big role. And I went to give her my ordination card. She said, oh, so you are going ahead. It's, it's very good. She says, and I'm happy that you are going to be a happy priest. I, I didn't expect that she'll come. She's a busy person and all. I said, I came to give you, and I also want to thank you for everything you did. But my ordination day, she came. And I was surprised to see her. My ordination was a very funny ordination also. It was Cardinal Picacci. He was there and he was on his way out. Archbishop Henry said he will ordain me. And before ordination, we get what we call a year of pre-diaconate uh, ministry, like they give you a pastoral course. It's about 9 months. I was not given the pastoral course. I was sent to Boys Town to manage the situation there. And everyone is telling me, be careful because the ordination will be postponed and all that. Then Archbishop Henry told me, what better course you want by staying over there and controlling the situation. So when my ordination time came, he wanted to ordain me. And I consulted him and printed a date. Fortunately, I went first to give Cardinal my card. And he looked at my card, he said, who's going to ordain you? I said, Archbishop Henry said he'll ordain. He said, no, I want to ordain you. It will be my last ordination. I didn't know what to do. I had to reprint all the cards because he was not free on the 19th of March. He was free on the 15th of March. So anyway, I reprinted the whole thing. I was blessed by God because I had Cardinal Picacci there. I had Archbishop Henry there. And Bishop Eric Benjamin, who was on his way to Darjeeling, at Howrah Station, he came to know that my ordination day. And he said, he came. He said, you didn't invite me, but I have come. And then I had, by God's grace, Mother Teresa also. Mother Teresa, of course, she uh, knew that it would be very embarrassing for me. So straight after the ordination, she came, she held my hand, and she said, I am going to run away because people will come to me and they will not come to you. So she gave me one picture. I still have it. I still treasure it. Where it is given over there, I looked for someone to console and found none. Then she, below that, she wrote, be the one. And she told me, let Jesus use you. And then she went away. That was a great blessing for me that she came. It's something I never expected at all. Then, of course, I was being sent to Rome. Again, I went to tell her I'm going to Rome. They're sending me for further studies. She said, don't worry. My sisters will meet you at the airport. And I landed in Rome. No blue bordered saris. No sisters were there. And I didn't know what to do. I was very annoyed, very upset. And fortunately, I recognized one lady who was dressed in ordinary dress, but from the cross she had, I knew that she belonged to the congregation of Daughters of the Cross. And so I went to her and told her I have to go to this college. She took me. I was very upset with the MCs. So I didn't bother contacting them at all. But when mother came to Rome, she asked for me. And the sister over there, Sir Joseph Michael, she phoned and told me, guess who's on the line? Now, this guess who my own sisters even do this. And so I said, I got no time for guessing, I'm putting the phone down. Said, no, 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 don't put the phone down. Mother's on the line. So then mother said, why you're not coming to our convent? Why you're not coming and meeting us and all that? So I said, how long you'll be here? I said, I'll be here till sometime you come. So anyway, I made the excuse I can't come on Saturday and Sunday because I was going for ministry to Pisa. Then she said, anyway, you come whenever you are free, you come. I'm over here right now. So I went on Monday. And then she told me, I want to come and see this place where you're working. At that time, Pope John Paul was using her to carry the letters to Czechoslovakia, Poland. Her bags were not checked. So all his secret letters, she was carrying it. At that time, there was a change of government in Poland, in Czechoslovakia, and Slovenia, and all these places that were around there. And she said, let me see if Pope doesn't send me, I'll be coming to that parish. I took nothing serious because, like right from the beginning, is just like God just working without me planning. And so I went back to the college, and on Tuesday, I got the Italian police. They call them the carabinieri. They came to my college and they asked the rector, "We want to meet this priest." So the rector called me, said, "Something is wrong." I said, "I don't know." He said, "The police wants to meet you." I was frightened. Then the police asked me, "Do you know this lady?" And they were using her name, Agnes Bozoux and all that. I said, "No, I don't know this lady at all." "You know Mother Teresa?" I said, "Yeah, Mother Teresa, I know very well." And they said, "She's planning to come to your parish in Pisa." I said, "She spoke to me, but I never took it serious." "No, this Sunday she's planning." So within 1 week, when I told the parish priest there, he thought I'm playing the fool. We used to always joke and all. So he said, no. I said, no. She said she's coming and tickets are booked. I'll be also accompanying her on that flight. And she's only said inside the church, see that there's no police. Let the police be outside. And she's coming by the morning flight and will come back by the afternoon flight. In that 1 week, everything was arranged. The church, all the pews were removed. People sat on the floor. From 8 in the morning, they were singing all these Tese hymns to pass the time till we finally landed. When we landed at Pisa airport, they were giving her, Mother Teresa, president's reception at the airport. And so when we landed, she told me, "You go first." She always tells the priest, "You go first." As soon as I went out, I saw the police and military and all that, and saluting. I said, "Mother, it's not for me; it's for you." So I came back and I made mother go first. When we went over there, and uh, we went down. Then right from the airport till the church, almost a 15-minute drive. It was like the roads were cleared, the people were lined up on both sides. It was something I never ever imagined, never ever dreamt of. Then, as we entered, the people were lined up on the roads. The piazza in every church in Europe, you have a big square in front. The piazza in front of in front of the church was crowded, and she entered. They were singing Tese hymns, and that's how they passed the time. And then, of course, we had the mass, the bishop, and all this were there. I had to be the simultaneous translator for her speech. I don't know what translation I did, but anyway, I did the translation from Italian to English, and again English to Italian. And we, mother was surprised that all those people sat on the floor right from 8 in the morning till we finished the whole program at about 12 o'clock. On that day, she told me that they should not collect anything for her. They want to give gifts and all that, or money. But you know, the bank managers of that whole Pisa area, they got together and they collected money in check. And so mother very nicely, she told me I had requested not to. I said, but they have done it. I don't know. I told them you are not interested in all this. I said, don't worry. And so she accepted the check from them, the different banks, all this thing. And then very nicely she said, thank you very much. your thoughtfulness, your kindness. But you know, in Italy, you have got the poor also. We have the poor in India, we have the poor in different parts of the world. But in Europe, you also have the poor. Kindly use all this money in these checks for them. And so nicely she gave it back to them. I was amazed at the way she handled the whole situation. And she gave back the checks to them. And they also they understood. They said, "Don't worry, Father. You told us not to do it, but we said in case." And then, of course, that day I flew into Pisa with mother. Before flying into Pisa, I went to the convent, and mother said, "Shall we go?" I said, "No, the police had to wait till they come. They'll come escort you to this pilot car and all." Then she to ask me, "Do you have breakfast?" I said, "No." She gave me something. And then the police was taking long to come. They thought they'll drive us fast. She said, "Let's go." And when we landed at the airport, the people, as soon as they saw mother, they were wanting to even tear pieces of her sari out, saying, "Mother, mother." And the police came and gave me one shout. They said, "We told you not to leave till we come." Then she told the police it's not his fault. I told them, "Let's go." And so we came. They drove us right up to the plane. And same way when we came back also. That day I flew in with mother to Pisa. I flew back to Rome with mother. And I went back to Pisa by car. Because they called me back to celebrate the whole night that mother had visited their parish. So they celebrated the whole night in the square, in the church, and all that. They could not believe that whole experience that took place. And just in 1 week, not even 1 week, it was just 6 days. In that time, everything was arranged, everything was done, and still there was such a big crowd. So that was, for me, that was a miracle in itself, that everything happened so unplanned and providentially also it happened. See, when I came back to Calcutta from Rome, I was appointed that time in Mashlandapur, that's way out, close to the Bangladesh border. And I always was having that desire, like as mother was reaching out to the downtrodden, to the poor, that we also in our way should reach out. As I was doing in school, going from school, going to Kali Ghat. And so in that village, we were trying in helping in the government hospital and reaching out over there. Then I got transferred to St. Teresa's. St. Teresa's, I was very interested again, not so much in reaching out. I was interested in having a youth group, and a youth group with boys and girls. They will come every week for meeting and attend a mass. We began having the youth mass. Then one day in one of these meetings, they were all college boys, all St. Xavier's College and all. One of these boys, he told me, "Father, what's the use of coming for meeting and doing Bible reading?" And I said, "Why, what you want?" He said, "Why don't we go and do some of mother's work?" Now, mind you, this wasn't my suggestion. I said, "Not a bad idea." So I said, I have to go and ask the superior. I was not interested actually in going and doing all that work. So the first week I didn't go and ask. When the next time they had the meeting, I said, "No, I went, but the superior was not there." Again, the second week, they said, "Father, did you go and ask?" I said, "Yeah, but she said give some time." Now, the third week, they said, "Father, I think we will go." And so I could not say no anymore. And the third week, it was on a Thursday, we went to Premdan. I told him, "We won't go to Kalighat, we'll go to Premdan and work is closer." When I went to Premdan, I kept them near the gate. I said, "I'll wait here, let me go and ask the superior," because I hadn't met her earlier. And so I said, "Sister, the boys from our parish and the girls, they want to come and do work here every, what's it called, Thursday. Is it all right?" "Oh, yes, Father, it's very good." And just then one sister came and said, "Sister, today no volunteers have come." Superior said, "Father, work is there. It's all laid out for you." And they began working, but the boys were not prepared. They were throwing up, and it was because the patients were messing in their clothes and urinating in their clothes and all. In my mind, I was saying, very good, these boys won't come back anymore. But the next week, in the morning again, the boys came. I said, "You'll have come. Yeah, we'll go." And so we began. Now it's almost 25 years that we are going there and working. I came to Park Circus. We began there. From here also we go. Uh, this work of mother that we do, it brings about a change in the boys and girls themselves. When you go and see, you see a different life, you see a different reality. You see people sometimes whom you knew, whom you know, and they are admitted there because they're not, children are not taking care of them. And so you see a different reality of life. And that changes many of the young boys and young girls who go with me in this kind of work. That work also helps me in my priesthood because at the beginning I didn't like it. I was hoping that these boys will not come back to work anymore. But in its own way, it has helped me also. When you are discouraged and when you are upset, besides your regular ministry that we do, you go there on Thursday, you might go just for 1 hour, 2 hours, but it brings about a lot of change in your whole way of thinking, your whole mindset, and you see a different kind of life over there also. See, very often I'm just moving on at the table. Very often we are asking about what touched you most in mother's life, what she said to you that changed you. In mother's case, it wasn't that went out of her way to tell you something. She just lived the life, or she just did the work. And it wasn't that she's prepared certain things to tell you that will influence you. It is you observe her and you take what you like, you don't take what you don't like. I still remember I was accompanying one priest to go for a sick call, and mother was going to also visit, I suppose, some sick patient. And that priest, he told mother, "Mother, where are you going?" She said, "Father, I'm just going to visit. If someone is sick, so I'm going." And then she told father, "And where are you going?" He said, "I'm also going. But there's a difference. You're just going to visit. I am going to give Jesus to them," because he was carrying communion to the sick. She said, "Father, very good. You're giving Jesus to them, and what we are doing it for Jesus." That has kind of left. I was thinking in my mind that priest was acting so rude with her and telling her we are carrying Jesus to the sick. And she so nicely told him, "We do this visit to the sick for Jesus." That, of course, has remained in my mind. I always think of that, how nicely she told the priest without getting annoyed, without getting upset, but she said it in a very simple way. The, the transformation comes by its very own self. For example, we were poor. We were not from rich families. We were a family of 9 children and trying to make ends meet. My mother had a good military job. Okay, that was there. But my father he had a job, but then, as normal of all families, the money went on drinks. And so we had our struggles. But seeing mother coming, taking the trouble, coming to our house, helping us, and without even getting annoyed with our parents of why you're not going to church and all, nothing of all that, but just taking us to church. Nowadays, the story is different. We say, no, the parents must bring them to the church. Mother didn't think that. She said, we will take. And that in itself changed not only our life, but also my parents' lives. They also began coming to church later on, at least on Christmas or at least Easter and all that. They began coming. Otherwise, because of their work, military work and all that, they didn't find the time, or that was an excuse to come to church. That was, I'm talking about my own self. Then in the lives of my friends and all who were poor, in the lives of others also who helped and then began helping others. I know now, of course, these friends of mine who were poor at that time, where very often the poverty comes in different ways. It's not that they are destitutes, no. The dying destitutes, you pick them up from the streets and you got them in Ghat or in Prem. But I spoke about the bashful poor. There are these poor, like my friends, because the father died, the mother by herself was trying to bring up these children, and with very difficult situation. I know that we in our family we would try and help them also. But these children, because of mother's influence, mother visiting them, mother is going to their house, They did well and they've come up. I've got two of them in America now, doing very well. And they in turn are helping the other poor that they come across. So many that they help. That's one tremendous transformation that you see in the lives of people. That they come up, and then in turn they say, as I was helped and as I was brought up, if I can, if I can also help others, and they help many in that way. I know also in my ministry, you also might have noticed that I am not so much uh, catering to the very poor and the destitute. I do that through the St. Vincent de Paul in the parish, through the Ministry for the Aged in the parish. We help, say, about 30 odd families or 30 odd elderly people, senior citizens. But more than that, my reach out is I try to help young boys. I realize in my life, some or the other, the girls, because of the convents and because of the nuns and all, they get taken care of. The boys are left by themselves. And so I make it a point in right through my priestly life to reach out to them, to see if they can at least get a training in hand. Schooling, somehow or the other, we all manage. After schooling, the training that is required, the skills that we have to read, I try and reach out in that way. Once they are helped, then these boys, has been my own experience, the boys whom I've helped, are the boys who come and help me to help others. That's a great blessing also. Without telling them anything, they say, I'm giving you this if you can help others. And I think that in itself is a transformation of lives. See, mother, I noticed, whatever she did, whatever simple, ordinary things, she didn't consider it simple and ordinary. She did it with great love, as though that was the thing. I also believe in that. That we are looking for great things. The present day world is looking for a big splash. No, they want to make it big and thing. But I think in the bargain, then of course we lose out. But like mother, she began with simple, ordinary things, reaching out to who cared to come to us and take us to church. Simple thing. In today's world, the nuns will say, no, why should we go? Or the priest even. They have to come. And we have got different ways of controlling that. I am, as a priest, I'm telling you, we've got different ways of controlling that. If you don't come to church, when you come to me for a letter, I'll say, no, you come to church. No? You need a letter for your admission in school. You need a letter for your concession in school. You need a letter for your admission in college. These are the means, which should not be the ultimate means, but these are the means we use to control. And so naturally, we get them to come. But they're coming not because of love, they're coming because they know they have to come. Now, in our case, mother took us to church. We were about 15, 20 of us walking behind those nuns on those GT road, going to church. Mother would give me her bag whenever she came. I don't know why. I knew in her bag was biscuits. We used to call it dog biscuits in those days. And I knew also there were nice chocolates, foreign chocolates. And I would take out and pass to my friends. I never thought that mother noticed it. So many years later, when she came to Italy, she said in her talk, be careful of this priest. She didn't say he robbed the biscuits from my bag. She said he took biscuits from my bag and gave all his friends. But you see, a simple thing, she could have said, oh, they're all thieves and these boys are useless, these boys are bad. No. She knew we are taking, that might have been once a month when she came. She knew that we are taking. She didn't tell us, she knew we were hungry also. She didn't tell us anything. And so many years later, when I was a priest and I was in Italy, and she came to my parish, that she jokingly said, be careful of him, because he took biscuits. She didn't say he robbed biscuits. He took biscuits and chocolates from my bag and gave his friends. I feel these things leave a lasting impression on our lives. We can't castigate anyone and say he's bad, he's a thief, he's a robber, or he's a. No. Each one in their way, they do a lot of good, and each one in their way, they also make a lot of blunders. I think mother accepted that way. She not once she asked us, "Have you passed your exams?" Not once. She just said, at Christmas time we were there. The Jessup buses came and they took us to St. Lawrence, Baliganj for a nice Christmas tree on the 26th. It was so on 25th itself, and we got big packets. We got very happy. She never asked me, "Did you pass your exam or did you read?" Nothing of all that. And so I always believe, even if a very small thing, a very ordinary thing, if you can do it with great love, as Mother often said, I think that's important. Not look for doing very great things and big people. Mother never looked for being with big people and important people. Ordinary things was enough for her. I tried that only.